So basically, this is Fugitive Savant. I wanted to say that when you're an employee and you commit discrimination, you normally, under the EEOC, which is based on the U.S. Constitution and all of its amendments, like the Civil Rights Act, Americans with Disabilities Act, Title VII, Title IX, etc., you usually have to go through what's called sensitivity training. Mr. Medford's a veteran. He's already had it. He openly and notoriously violated the U.S. Constitution by calling himself a patriot who loves Americans. Oh, well, he was making fun of the Chinese. It doesn't matter. These retailers have contracts with Chinese retailers. They have customers who are Chinese. When you violate Title VII or the Civil Rights Act and use Nazi-style, Jim Crow-style propaganda to shame an entire race of people, you're saying you are a white supremacist. That means you alienate a large majority of the American population. And since the knife community is global, you're alienating the global population. Race, color, creed, national origin, ethnicity, whatever. So all of these knife companies who canceled their contracts with him followed basically is supported by federal law. They're actually honoring the U.S. Constitution and all of its amendments. They're not picking and choosing which parts they want to respect and deliberately omitting what's convenient for them. So basically, I'm not going to go into a big lecture on it. Google EEOC, Google sensitivity training. Basically, everybody says they're all about capitalism. Well, these knife retailers are entitled to capitalize and have encouraged all people to make knives, deal with them, sell knives, and buy knives. And if you're affiliated with somebody using Nazi-style propaganda and Jim Crow-style propaganda, shaming an entire race of people, regardless of how you think they may have infringed on you, never mind, those knives, those Medford clones, are sold on Amazon. They're sold on DHgate. They're sold on AliExpress. They're sold on Wish. That's all enabled by the American politicians. And I'm one of the many whistleblowers who got Cuomo ran out of office. My sealed SEC whistleblower indictments got Cuomo's DNC chair, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown's City Hall, and bogus HUD charity raided by the FBI, IRS Criminal Investigation Division, HUD, and the New York Office of the Inspector General. And you don't make that happen without a lot of evidence and knowing exactly what the hell you're talking about. That was November 2019. Look at Cuomo now. So, the reason why Cuomo and his Department of Health officials and Byron Brown is using his police department to stalk me, lie on me, make sure I didn't get cancer treatment or victim services as the domestic violence victim of the civil rights attorney I work for, which he's a joke. His dad's a Republican hospital board member who was involved in the healthcare fraud scams with convicted fraudster Florida Governor, now Senator Rick Scott, a Navy vet that's a disgrace. These fraud scams certainly affect veterans and the doctors who doped Epstein's victims. He's involved in all of that. He's basically my ex-boyfriend, and my employer is basically one of Epstein's defense attorneys, and they're defending Epstein's allies and partners in crime in both major parties. And this isn't just about the sex stuff. Epstein was a billionaire. Fucker didn't have a job. I wrote my indictments up to the SEC stating that it's very likely that Cuomo and Byron Brown, both billionaires, as well as Florida Governor Rick Scott, douchebag Ducey, the Goldwater, McCain's, all of these people that I have threatening me on emails and using private investigators to come threaten me, own stock in the corporations that allow the predatory health care. So when Medford is using nasty imagery to portray a race of people and an entire ethnic group and people of national, Chinese people, but not saying fuck all the politicians who are own stock in DHgate and AliExpress and Wish and Amazon, as if they're not you can't. Now, those clones are shipped all over the world, not just America. So how are you going to blame the Chinese when they wouldn't be able to make any money off of it if it wasn't for all these rich white people who call themselves patriots, allowing it to be sold and shipped to the U.S. or Canada or wherever. So, anybody who thinks logically and reasonably looks at the whole big picture. So when I'm seeing these, the boys club defending Medford and taking shit out of context, well, he's got a right to free speech, and then saying they're victims because we use our right to free speech to call him out as a racist, and all of his contractors are mandated by law to do something. Now, like I said, normally they would give him sensitivity training. He's already trained in the U.S. Constitution in all of its amendments. And this wasn't a one-time incident. He's got a lot of videos, and some of the videos he took down. When you try to cover something up, that's called consciousness of guilt. That means you know what you did was wrong, and you said, fuck it, and you did it anyway. That's why all these boys clubs that take the U.S. Constitution out of context, take the Bible out of context, call those of us in the knife community who are calling Medford out on his crap, whether it's retailers or private YouTubers, calling us pussies and claiming that you're a victim of cancel culture. What the fuck do you think racism? First of all, calling people pussies for stating the obvious and doing what we're actually mandated to do, and certainly entitled to do under the First Amendment and the Civil Rights Amendment and 8 Americans with Disabilities Act, whatever, Title VII, and then claiming we're the bad guy, referring to us as pussies. That's Title IX rape. Sexism, racism, gay bashing, ableism, xenophobia, that is all the ultimate cancel culture. And then you're saying, oh, well, we're getting canceled. Well, you canceled somebody else first. And then when we say we want nothing to do with your Jim Crow Nazi butts, oh my God, we're victims.
I like those shoes. We got them.
Hypocrisy isn't cool. Just say it.